Okay, so this one is a toughie. It's very complicated. It's highly informative. There is no doubt about that. It's not just a matter of my opinion. It's something that shows that negative expectation can be overcome. Uh, but I'm just concerned that it is so kind of rarefied, and I don't mean that in a trumpet blowing sense. What I'm saying is it's so far removed from what most gamblers are interested in, which is short term profits, short term thrills, excitement, whatever. It's so far removed from that that I don't know what the audience is likely to be. But in a way, it's a gauntlet down challenge to the mathematicians and the purveyors of disinformation, of downright lies, who are at work all the time on YouTube gambling channels in particular, where they put across this notion that no progressive betting strategy can possibly work, that anybody who tries one is an idiot or a liar or a thief or a charlatan or a faker or a whatever, you know. And what I have to do to start with is to explain what this is all about, because it does look a little kind of intimidating. I can see that. Over here on the left hand side, the B column. This is the column where a random number generator creates an arbitrary choice between player and banker. No ties are in here, and it could be, sort of any game on a casino floor. But let's just say it's baccarat, so we can deal with player and banker, no ties. Okay, and this column here is where the source data is. It's set to a house advantage of 1.26% against the player. But in fact, in this particular iteration, that is this time, in the current set of numbers, 5,000 bets overall, okay, excuse me, it is reading minus 1.6%. And obviously, in real play, in real time, in real casinos for real money, blah, 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 real everything, you get sort of variance that's and volatility, which can make nonsense of any prediction about what the core percentage is in favour of the house in a given game. But anyway, right now it's a little tougher than baccarat normally is, and that's fine. Yeah, and as usual, I'm struggling with my with my throat and lung thing, which is not serious. I mean, it's not in any way life-threatening. It's just a bloody nuisance. It costs me a lot of time and frustration and so on. But hey, I mean, I'm hale and hearty, and I'm going to be seriously ancient come my birthday in September. So I have nothing to complain about. So anyway, um, this up here, these arrows up here tell you which is active over here currently. Okay, so we are dealing with a random selection. Uh, Here is the core information. Here is the core outcomes are down here, and here there are random selections between a banker and player, which are separate from the core information, the core data set. Okay, so somebody sitting here, somebody could be, I don't know, anybody. Let's say it's Vegas Matt saying, "Oh, I think I've got to bet banker this time." Except no, it can't be Vegas Matt because he's really silly and bets banker all the time. This is the Vegas Matt column right here. Okay, never bet anything but banker. How daft is that? Anyway, this is a random selection. All right. And then we have another column which is betting banker only. So that's set against this, which means obviously if you're betting banker for the first five bets, then you lose because it's the first five are players. So that's minus one. It's pretty easy to understand, basically. I don't think anybody's going to struggle with that. And then there's the opposite here, which is player. Okay. So you're betting player every time, being just as daft as Vegas Matt, and you win the first five. Whoopee, great. Next one is avant dernier, which is the French system, which is actually pretty good. It basically says, okay, I'm going to back whichever side, whichever option came up, not last time, but the time before that. So that's avant dernier, the time before last. All right. And then the next one is the hop. And what happens with the hop is that after three consecutive losses, you switch from player to banker or banker to player, and then back again, and you get the picture, right? Now here is where the work is done. This is currently set, as it says there with those arrows up there, it's currently set to random, okay? So we're working with the column here and the pluses and minuses down there, all right? And what we're getting is with a betting strategy which cannot possibly work, according to the mathematicians, the liars, the shills, and so on. We're winning 237,000 over the 5,000 rounds. Okay, that's 5.4% of total action, which is here, and because it's random, it bounces between player and banker. We have to pay commission. All right, so commission this time is nearly 75,000 over the 5,000 bets, and so that amounts to 24% of the total win. And this win number in here is net of commission. Okay, so we're taking the sum total of all the wins and losses there, and then we're applying the commission, which is shown here, 76,000, and we're coming out with 5.4% of total action, which is good, particularly since the house advantage in this data set is 1.6% against us. All right. Up here, what we're seeing is that bets below 5,000 win 17,600. Bets above 5,000, which are only 2% of all bets, right? That's here. 219,000. So you can see obviously the difference between the biggies and the littlies, right? What have we got next over here? We've got the minimum bet is 25. The max is 100,000, which sounds ridiculous, I know. But then, you sort of listen to somebody like Dana White saying his maximum bet allowed at Caesars is 300,000, and you think, okay, in the real world, it is possible to bet even more than that, but that's how it's set right now. The win max here is 125, and the way that works is that if a new series starts as this one down here does, win of 25, add 25, win 50, add 25, win 75, add 25, win 100, add 125. Oh, sherbet, we lost that one. We double up here. This is a little bit more aggressive than normal pattern betting, but I'm cool with that. It's 250, so we win 125 totally. All right, the normal system that I apply, if you lose your 125, then you would just repeat it. If you win it, that's fine. If you don't, you move on. But anyway, the whole point of this, people, is quite simply saying, okay, there is a progressive betting strategy being applied here and now, right now, okay, against this set of random outcomes over which I have zero control. I hope you understand that. I hope you believe me. It is quite simply common sense that nobody would work as hard as I have for the last nearly 30 years, putting out this information on the internet and being attacked primarily, I think, from people who work in the casino business. But, because when you think about it, why would anybody who doesn't have skin in the game attack someone like me? The only people who come after me are the shills, the touts, the barkers, the Vegas Mats, King of the Shills, and so on. And one guy recently who came at me was a fellow called, He has a channel online called Casino. Well, I call him Casino Matchfaker. That's close enough to his actual name. And the stuff that he puts on his channel all the time is such utter crap that it seems to me, and I can't prove it, and I don't know it for certain, but it seems to me he must be still working for the casinos. He was in the casino business, he boasts frequently, directly employed by casinos for 10 years. I suspect that he still is, because the stuff that he puts on his channel is such utter bloody nonsense. He deals primarily with roulette, but he keeps putting up these exciting new strategies, which he said, I will stake my reputation on this, I will stake my life on this, but he won't ever actually say, I will stake my own money on this. But anyway, I promise you that this is the same strategy running all the time, all the way down here. It doesn't change from one situation to the next. And here, as I say, we're looking at a win that comes out at 4,740 per hour. And that's assuming 100 spins. I think I've set it at 100 spins per hour. Let me double check. Yeah, that's maybe a little much for. Oh no, it's hands per hour. Sorry, I'm thinking I'm in roulette. I do apologise. One of the things that I think, if anybody's been with me for a while, they'll know that sometimes I blather on and then completely confuse myself. So my apologies for that. But anyway, this is actually set to 100 bets per hour, which is actually a bit on the low side for something like mini back. If there's only one player at the table, then you can get through a shoe of about 72, 75 bets in probably half an hour. So 100 an hour is on the low side. But anyway, we're looking at 4,700 an hour. Now, next thing to look at is exposure. It's huge. There is no doubt about that. And one of the factors in all of these tests, in all of the sort of information that the mythematicians put out, is the ability to completely overlook something that I like to call the inertia factor. It assumes that every gambler is going to be like Crazy Cody Burnett, who I recently watched sitting through 43 consecutive losses at blackjack without doing anything to protect himself, without getting up off his ass and going to another game, just sitting there saying to the pit boss, am I being pranked? Being completely emotionless, completely almost distant from his money, from the huge hammering that he was taking. Normal people don't play like that. Robots do. And of course, obviously, this is a robot at work here. But yeah, the total exposure was 431,100, okay? So, and then we recovered from that, came out with a win of 237,000, 5.4% of total action. And that, the win over there, was a return on risk, ROR, of 155%. Not too shabby, one way and another. But, okay, now I'm going to make this a bit more complicated. I'm now going to reset up here, okay, and whatever I put in here determines what pops up in here, which is the outcome column just for this area, for the whole thing that's at work here. Sorry, I lost my words there for a moment. It happens. I think it was my breakfast actually coming back. I eat breakfast rather late sometimes. Anyway, let's set it for banker up here. All right. Now what do we get? We get everything changes. Okay. The commission hugely goes up to 32.2% of the total win. All right, but the win is still pretty decent. It's 5%. And the return on risk is 201%. That's not terrible. And we're at 4,347 per hour. I kind of like that. Next thing to look at is, let's say, player. Okay. So please notice everything changes, right? And then we get 5.4%. We got high risk again, high exposure, but we come out at 5.4%. There is no commission, obviously, backing player all the time. Player was facing, as you can see here and here, 82 more losses than wins. But the whole point of pattern betting is to make sure that you win more when you win than you lose when you lose. And damn it, that's something that I didn't set up on this. This is something that's existed for a very long time, and I've resisted putting it out simply because it is rather kind of academic, if you like. It's a bit cold-blooded. But anyway, what I should have done is I should have had an averages thing there, and I'm going to pause right now, and I'm going to put that in because we need to know that, in my opinion. All right, so I'm still working on that being perfect thing, and as usual, it's eluding me. So my apologies for not being perfect. I really should have put this up before I even started this squitter here. Okay, so we have an average win in this particular iteration. This is player. Average win of 1100, average loss of 940. So that's an average win value over average loss value of 117%. The most important thing to do, of course, is to make sure that at all times you're betting in such a way that you win more when you win than you lose when you lose, because you're going to lose more bets than you win. So you want to offset that negative effect, or the effect of negative expectation, if you want to put it another way. So there you have it. That's player, no commission, 6,000 and something, 6,400 per hour against this set of numbers here. And this is frozen, by the way, right here. So, even though that normally the RNG works, what I wanted to be able to do was to show you the different ways of going about this game, okay? So the next one is going to be avant-dernier, okay? So that one does very nicely. The commission is 13.7%. They tell you how it's a 5% commission. What a load of crap. 277,710 is the win, 8.1% of total action. Up here, we're at an average win value over average loss of 124%. That's more like it. I like to see it 120, 125 if it's possible, but I can't always fix that, so that's the difference. We're looking at 5,500 an hour, blah, blah, blah. What else? Oh, this, of course, I haven't mentioned the chart. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, really. This is every 500, okay? So in the first 500, we stand at 42,225, then 83, blah, 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 blah. You've got it right here. It's all there. Gags are in effect in this thing. And what happens in this particular demonstration is that when you gag, you don't get up and walk away, because what's the point? This is an ongoing thing. It's got 5,000 outcomes. So what you do is you just stop betting until you see a win, and then you respond to the win by starting to bet, and away you go. So we're looking decent for avant-dernier. It's actually a pretty good strategy. I mean, those French are not stupid, as you can see from here and here. It actually manages 60 more wins than losses. Banker only manages 82 more wins than losses. So but of course you've got to remember that Banker has to then pay a commission on every win of 5%, and that really screws up Banker numbers. Something that Vegas Matt will never tell you. Okay, you won't hear it from him. But this is a guy who, he's just been promoting a new blackjack abomination, which repeats the ultimate insult, which is when the dealer gets 22, it's a push. What is the matter with that man? Really? He is so anti-player. He doesn't give a shit about any of us. He is only interested in how much money he can make for himself and his little coterie there, his little family group. He should be telling people, hey, don't play this game. This is crap. But no, he works for the casinos. So let's not, I always call him the king of the shills, and that's exactly what he is. Um, Anywho, oops, I've said it again. Damn it. So, what else here? Oh, yeah, maximum winning streak 11, most awful mean streak -12. That's about right. That's about average. This changes all the time up here, obviously. The contribution made by bets below 5,000 is not, and that's 98% of all bets. And then there's the contribution made by the top 2%, and it's considerably bigger, as you can see there. But that's how that works. What else? Let's change to the hop. All right, hops at 8.5%. That's very good. Please understand, nothing is being changed here. You're watching this doing its thing in its own time. I mean, well, it's a split second, isn't it? Because now I've got this new system, which is like 5 times faster than my old one. The old one was no slouch, so I'm pretty pleased with that. Commission here, 11.3%, not 5%. And the win is pretty damn good. God, every time I hear that, I think of my youngest son telling me I have anger management problems because of how angry I get at Alexa. It's only ever when she interrupts, and she does that quite often because I would forget all kinds of things. I'd forget to drink water. I'd forget to take my pills. I'd forget to, I don't know, whatever. But everything is completely independent here, and we can go all the way down to the bottom. And of course, the same thing always applies with all of my models, and that is that the green horizontals indicate turnarounds, all right? And what we're looking to see, obviously, is turnarounds in fewer bets than it took us to get in deep doo-doo in the first place. Oh, this is something that's important. I stop the win progression kind of increase, plus 1 unit, plus 1 unit, plus 1 unit, plus another unit. At 5 units, I freeze it. Okay. Now this up here will change that. Let's say we change that to 250. I don't think it does much good. I've been having a discussion with my friend in California, the Baccarat whiz, and he says he likes to just keep it going and then not chase it. I don't think it makes that much difference. So I'm arguing with him right now and saying it really isn't worth the bother. I mean, you could make it less, and that reduces you by 3,000, and make it less, stop at 75, and that reduces it a bit further, not by very much. You can stop at 50. See what I'm doing here? I mean, I'm trying to show you that this is a live model. It's not fixed. It's not rigged. It's not cheating in the same way that the mathematicians cheat and lie, and their shills lie to you, telling you, oh, you don't want to touch progressive betting. That never works. I mean, it is the only thing that works. That's the truth. Anyway, I'm going to go back to my 125, which I like. Oh, and this one here, this one bumps up the final win just a little bit. If I take that down to 1, okay, it greatly reduces the win. 1.1, so you add 10%. What you're doing is you're rounding up the turnaround bet so that you make a little extra money. You don't want to be caught up in a situation as with the martingale, which Vegas Matt is always talking about, and he did a demo a while back, which was very confusing because he was doing it upside down kind of thing. But he was saying, who would risk all that money just to win 1 unit? That's ridiculous. And of course, this is the ultimate lie that the mathematicians, the shills, the mouthpieces, the performing seals, the house pets love to put out. If you do bet a martingale, and I do not recommend it, you don't win 1 unit, you stupid man, Vegas Matt. You win back all of your prior losses, bang, plus a profit of 1 unit. So when he says, and he's just reading from the script that the casinos wrote for him, when he says you only win 1 unit, it is disingenuous in the extreme. You win back all your prior losses. I don't subscribe to that thing. I don't like it at all because it's dumb. It's too damn risky. It drives the bets too high too fast. Anyway, let's go back to 1.2. And what does that add? We're at 224,000 right now. That adds 76,000, right? And if we go to 1.25, that adds a whole shitload more. And if we make it 1.5, oh my God. But of course, the risk increases, the blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so I'm happy with 1.2. I hope you are too, because you're stuck with it, folks, all right? So let's go back to this. And that's basically the end of the story. What I can do here, and I'm just hoping it's going to work, is that if I hit the macro F, the macro R, it'll restore the RNG. So this will become live again. Right now, it's fixed, okay? So that every time I hit the recalc, it doesn't change. The random column here changes, but this one doesn't. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reinstate the... oh, look, it worked. Okay. So now what we've got is a whole new set of numbers down here, a whole new set of outcomes down here. Okay. And what happened? The hop is still winning. Okay. 18% commission right here. A win of 304,000, a net win of 304,000. Bets below 5,000, lost 32,000, right? Bets above of 5,000 plus, won 336,000. Average win value over average loss value, 131%. I like that. And that's how it goes. Let's freeze this one again. All right, so that's frozen the thing there. And let's see what happens with, we go to random. That's not bad, 5%. And then we go to banker. That's 11%. Bloody hell. But commission is 18.5%. Average win value over average loss value, again, is over 130%. So that's good. What happens with player? Oh, that's good too. Damn. See, something that I really should stress here is that in all the years I've been doing this, I would get people saying it's easy to manipulate a small sample of, say, 5,000 random outcomes and create a strategy which works for that 5,000. But the next 5,000, it'll fall apart. The wheels will come off. You'll be ruined because there is no such thing as a progressive betting strategy which can beat negative expectation, all right? Now, I think what I'm doing here is repeatedly demonstrating what a lie that is. But, well, I don't know. What does the hop do? Oh, now that's strange, isn't it? So I just reset the random number generator. I got a whole new set of 5,000 outcomes. And yet again, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successful outcomes. Positive outcomes. I mean, isn't that the weirdest thing? So, anyway, all I can say to you, please excuse me. All I can say to you is that, it's like everything else that I put up here. I say, take it or leave it, believe it or not. If you want to believe the Vegas Mats, the shills, the mythematicians, the liars, the cheats, the casinos, in other words, then that's your choice. I'm telling you, you can beat these games, but you can't beat these games the way you're betting. I'm telling you, you must bet progressively. It is the only way that you can beat these games. There is no alternative. Flat betting fails, random betting fails. It's common sense, it's mathematics, it's reality. Okay? You must bet progressively. And that's been my message for all these decades. And I'm a little voice in the wilderness. And what have I got? An audience right now in dozens, if I'm lucky. I think recently the most views I had on one demo was 125, and usually I'll get an extra bounce if I put Vegas Matt's name in the title because he's so ridiculously popular, and all of the people who watch gambling as a spectator sport, I think, must be brain damaged because it makes no sense. But anybody who watches them to learn something should not be watching Vegas Matt or Bobby Rivas or Crazy Cody or Dana White or any of those people. They should be watching me because I'm not being idiotic. I'm not being ridiculous. I'm not lying to you. I'm not misrepresenting what the challenge is. I'm telling you the truth. Okay. So anyway, my voice is going completely now, so I'm going to stop. And I hope this is helpful to somebody. There must be at least a dozen people out there who can get good value out of this. And this is a really honest representation of the reality of negative expectation games. And anybody who tells you that they can't be beaten, and they especially can't be beaten with progressive betting, a la Vegas Matt, they are lying to you and doing it quite deliberately without any conscience whatsoever.